A U.S. Senate panel has approved the use of military force in Syria, in response to an alleged chemical weapons attack. By 10-7, the Committee on Foreign Relations moved the measure to a full Senate vote, expected next week. The proposal allows the use of force in Syria for 60 days with the possibility to extend it for 30 days. It prevents the use of U.S. troops on the ground. President Barack Obama is battling to build support at home and abroad for military action. Despite Wednesday's vote, the bill's ultimate fate in the wider Senate is unclear, and the U.S. House of Representatives must also approve the measure. Credibility on the line. So far, only 21 senators have said they support or are likely to back the resolution, according to a tally by ABC/BBC News. 13 have said they oppose or are likely to oppose the resolution, while 66 votes are undecided or unknown. However, those numbers are expected to shift as the language in the resolution changes. The White House and its congressional allies apply pressure, and lawmakers hear from their constituents. Earlier in the day, France, whose government has strongly advocated intervention, held an extraordinary debate in the National Assembly, though MPs will not vote on the matter as the country's president can mobilize the military without their backing. The government of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad is accused of using chemical weapons against civilians on several occasions during the 30-month conflict, most recently on a large scale in an attack on 21 August on the outskirts of Damascus. The U.S. has put the death toll from that incident at 1,429, though other countries and organizations have given lower figures, and says all the evidence implicates government forces. At a press conference on Wednesday in Stockholm, Sweden, President Obama said, "My credibility is not on the line. The international community's credibility is on the line. America and Congress's credibility is on the line, because we give lip service to the notion that these international norms are important." Mr. Obama said he believed the U.S. Congress would approve intervention, but stressed that as Commander-in-Chief, he had the right to act in his country's national interest regardless. Kerry is lying. The Senate Foreign Relations Committee approved the bill, with one abstention, after accepting an amendment by Republican Senator John McCain that advocated increasing support for rebel forces. Senator Dick Durbin, a senior Democrat on the panel, said he had voted against the war in Iraq, but that this is different. "What we've done today is a step in the right direction," he said. "I hope it makes a safer world." But another Democrat, Senator Tom Udall, said, "I'm voting no because this policy moves the United States toward greater involvement in the Syria civil war." He was joined by 5 Republicans in voting against the resolution, including Rand Paul and Marco Rubio, both of whom are tipped as potential 2016 presidential candidates. 2 top Obama administration officials, Secretary of State John Kerry and Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel, meanwhile continued to press the case for intervention, this time before a House of Representatives panel. Mr. Hagel said any U.S. military strike would not be a mere pinprick, but would reduce the Syrian government's military capability. He said he thought there was a very high likelihood that Mr. Assad would use chemical weapons again if the U.S. did not act. The defense secretary estimated the cost of an American strike would be in the tens of millions of U.S. dollars. In Syria, Deputy Foreign Minister Faisal Mekdad said Damascus was mobilizing its allies, who were offering it all sorts of support. He cited Iran, Russia, South Africa and some Arab countries. Syrian state TV denied reports that a former defense minister, General Ali Habib, had defected to Turkey. In televised remarks on Wednesday, Russian President Vladimir Putin called Mr. Kerry a liar as he accused him of denying that al-Qaeda elements were fighting with opposition forces in Syria. "He is lying and he knows that he is lying," Mr. Putin said. "This is sad." On Tuesday, Mr. Kerry told U.S. senators it was basically incorrect that al-Qaeda were ascendant within the rebel ranks. The United Nations says more than 100,000 people have been killed and 2 million others have fled the country since the uprising against President Assad began in March 2011.